Hey y'all, what's going on? I gotta go to TikTok. Hi, give me a thumbs up when you get here. Make sure you share the show for me whenever you get a chance. How are you guys doing? I am tired. Hold on. I gotta do my share everything on TikTok. Okay. How y'all feeling? Ooh, I've been having some questions today, right? And it could have been because I don't want to say I was triggered before the show, but I think I was triggered. Y'all. See, this is why I don't be trying to listen to. I try not to listen to stuff. So I've been over there on Twitter. I've been living in Twitter, and my goodness. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Confirm. Oh, I got a gold. Oh, this is a new gold that TikTok gave me. Hey y'all. Hey, how you doing? Oh, let me see if I want to do this. Okay, boom. All right, I set it up there too, so that way we can see that. And I even put the link there to you guys, just in case if you guys wanted to call and chime in on the conversation tonight to give your thoughts on it or not. And you don't have to be on camera, but you know some of y'all be acting like y'all shy. But you don't have to be on camera if you don't want to. But how y'all doing? It's just all of this craziness that's going on around the world today. So let me give an update though before I get into what I want to get into. Okay. Because this is where the Lord is leading me to go. Okay, we're not gonna complain about it. We just gonna go with it. We're not gonna complain about it. Hey, hi, Miss Irma, how you been? Haven't seen you in so long. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. All right, so let me tell y'all what I've been doing. So we are having, I don't quote me, child, because I get stuff wrong. So we are feeding 700 families on Saturday. We would like volunteers if you want to volunteer at 1100 North Gilmore Street at St. Luke. So we are going to be feeding over 700 people this Saturday. I told you guys about the Be More Fridge project that's around in Baltimore, where like if you or you know anybody in need, where you can go there and get food out of the refrigerator. It's completely free. So we'll be starting at 12 o'clock at St. Luke on Saturday. So it's been fun going around, running around, driving around, and picking up stuff and running around for the kingdom. Okay. So um, that was really truly fun. I had a good time doing that. Make sure you give me a heart and thumbs up. You share the show. If you would like to donate tonight or send stars or anything, you could do that. If not, sharing is caring. It's free. It's free 99 to share. Um, so look, so here we are. I remember when I first lost my job, I was like, well, did I lose it? I don't want to say that. When they laid me off, I was excited because I was like, okay, I'll be able to show up more for my church, right? Who go figure? Who would think that, right? In the middle of that. So I was like, oh, I'll be able to show up more for my church. And then some things transpired and I wasn't able to do it, but I was able to do it today. So I'm just super excited because y'all know, like I tell y'all, we sit here and I pray before I start my day every day, and I always ask God what it is that He wants me to do for the day, who does He want me to speak to, and things of that nature. And I've been running around picking up food and running around, and we've been getting content and all this stuff together for the event on Saturday. So matter of fact, I want you guys to go, if you have Instagram and stuff, you can go and follow Be More St. Luke. I'm gonna see if I can copy it. I don't know if my moderator is here yet. But see if I can copy it and put it down in the link below so you guys could go ahead and follow what's been going on with that. I'm gonna put the content and stuff together so you guys can see each day, like the preparation that it takes to go through it. Yes, it is. It's going to be so much fun. So I'm excited to show you guys that and let you guys see all of that. Um, just with that, especially with everything that's going on right now, food stamps and stuff are cut. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to put it out there, but I'm not sure. But I may have some content coming together soon with Pastor Williams um for Thanksgiving or around November to show you how you can feed a family of 10 off of just $40 from um Aldi's, just by using Aldi's. So, don't quote me on that, Don't blame my mind, blame my heart. And if you were on TikTok, I have a new goal TikTok has given me. So if you could be so kind to show me what that gold thing look like, baby, I would truly, truly appreciate it. I would truly appreciate it. They sent me a new little, it's like a new little live thing. We'll see. But oh, yep, there's the link. Here's the link right here, you guys. Y'all can go and copy it and go to the Instagram to see and be a part of what's going on. So I'm super, super excited about that. Okay. Super excited about that. Um, what is on the menu? We're gonna have turkey, sandwiches, tuna. I think it's three different kind of sandwiches, two things of different type of chilies, spaghetti. Y'all know. You're right. You can't just click on it. You have to copy and paste the link, and then you put it to where you want to go. But you guys should go check it out. Follow Be More St. Luke because this has truly been fun. So, like I was saying, and TikTok, you guys, make sure you tap in the screen to say hello to me when you get here. And TikTok then gave me this new little thing. I want to see how it look. I'm waiting for my gifters to show up over there. Okay. Um, and we just go ahead and we do that. So it's been really fun. So like I said, like I said, when I first lost my job, I was super excited that I lost it because I was like, "Ooh, I'll be able to volunteer more at church," but things didn't go like that. So but now here I am, since I am still doing my 50 days of faithfulness, just living in the moment, just living present, not really worrying about the things that are going on, and just focus on the day and what's the tasks are that are in front of me. Now, like I told y'all, last week was a week, baby. The devil was extremely busy over here, all up in my house, all up in my everything. Like it was just chaos. Okay, let me just say it was just pure chaos. Hey Andre, how are you? How are you doing? So this is the menu that we're going to be having on Saturday. Andre, if you're around, you should try to stop by if you're able to. It's going to be on the west side. So it's turkey, baked chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans, corn, chili, and cornbread, mac and cheese, chicken noodle soup, ham and cheese, turkey and cheese, salami and cheese, and tuna sandwiches, all packed in various combinations. Plus, you guys, every last Saturday of the month is the regular distribution for the two fish and five loads. Where we do the laundry stuff. She can take all about that. Hold on. Matter of fact, I did put the look. I put the link in down below for anybody who felt like they wanted to talk today. You could just click the link and you'll pop right up here, and you don't have to be on camera. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. So we've been getting prepared and doing all that stuff and getting prepared for stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that's going on right now in the media, especially in the gossip world with like all the celebrities and now one of the bloggers, YouTube bloggers, Armand, right? So just with a lot of the stuff that's going on, me and my friend, we always have this conversation, and I try to, y'all know I'm not the best person when it comes to certain things, but here lately, when I was getting ready, which was like placed on me, is that we are really living in a times where a lot of people think or believe that let's see, I want to say like they put God in a box. You get what I'm saying? It's like they don't like. Hold on. Let me see how I want to say this. Let's see. It's almost as if that whatever is going on, you know, God is not in control, or God can't handle what's going on, right? So that be the conversation. That's been the conversation that I've been having here lately with one of my friends. I wish she could show up, because we go back and forth in a good way, though. Good banter, just with everything that's going on. Because I'm looking at this. Here we are, like Cardi B, like it all makes sense. So if y'all know Armand, Armand is just a blogger and he just cover music, right? So now Cardi B has recently threatened him. She's threatened to get him beat up. She's threatened to get, her gay friends that are just like him to watch his house and stuff in LA. And he built his platform from scratch, right? And so I was just listening to, this is why I said I was triggered a little bit, because I was listening to all of that on Twitter to where as though this man is now talking about he doesn't even want, he wants to kind of stop like doing what he does on his platform with the coverage, right? And then we have the government who is just doing everything known to man, putting people in hard situations. And I really feel like that we are really just living in a season right now where we're going to have to rely and depend on each other. You get what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And so when me and my friends be having this conversation, she'll probably kill me if I say this, but I always be like, why is it that it seems like that you feel that it comes across like you don't believe that God is big enough to handle all of these situations that's going on. It always appears as if that the situation that's going on is bigger and can't be fixed, right? So I understand that we all have our own lessons to learn. I understand. Oh, we're gonna get into that. I understand. See, and this is why I love you too, Andre, because you don't be afraid to have these conversations with me, okay? Usually people get quiet when you start having these conversations, but you be right there front and center like us listen. And I'm gonna get to that comment in a minute, right? Because you see all the stuff that's going on. We'll say we can't believe the media or TV is all smoke and mirrors, right? But the minute there's something that's going on that we think is different, it's like, oh no, you gotta believe this, right? So then you got the whole thing with Nicki Minaj and all of them. Like a lot of these things are bigger than, more so going and whatever. You do if you pay attention, you see how the media and all that they're spinning these narratives. For a long time, they said that she was getting coke, she was doing coke. She went to court. That was proven that she's never done coke. And so people were like, well, she does something, something's wrong with her. So here it is. Recently, Cardi B has sprued out saying that she is schizophrenic, right? And now every blogger, everything has picked up with this saying that she's schizophrenic. She has schizophrenia. Nobody knows, right? Nobody knows this. So we're just self-diagnosing people. Then you have the Breakfast Club who did the same thing. When Jess Hilarious and Lauren LaRosa were going back and forth, and people were speaking on it because Jess was crying, where she was just genuinely upset. People were like, "Oh, she has postpartum. She has postpartum," and then Charlemagne was like, "Let's stop publicly, diagnosing people without knowing and having proper knowledge." But then turned around couple days ago and they diagnosed Nicki Minaj with schizophrenia. So it's just all of that stuff. So, we had these conversations because my friend is like, well, different people run the media, a different religion, the people they have all this power, and it's almost like you can't really speak up because um, if you speak up for people, something may happen to you and all these other things. And so we just had this. So I was saying to her, right, and it's always good conversation. I was like, well, I remember when the whole internet and the industry or whatever was against Monique, right? And we all know, I don't know Monique personally, but they say Monique doesn't have the best attitude. She doesn't have the best this, that, and the third, right? And make sure if you hear, you say hello and you tap the comment and let me know you here. And if you want to join in to give a spiel, I would definitely love to just hear your opinion on certain things. Um, and so I was like, well, they were all saying that Monique was lying. They were all saying this, that, and the third. Kevin Hart had ended up giving Monique like $19 million or something to help her out, and she was missing. I said, but then as time went on, um, she was proven right. Right? It was proven that she was right, but a lot of those people didn't go around and publicly acknowledge her or apologize. Um, and the Breakfast Club kind of like recanted and, just made them apologize and was like, no, because she was telling y'all what was going on and y'all didn't want to believe her. So I was like, now with me in that narrative, all I saw, right, is that there's a problem where we like to tell people what happened to them. We like to tell people what didn't happen to them. And we all know everybody handles their situations differently. And so her thing is like, well, this was within like the Tyler Perry, the black community. They had the other powers at be, which is the people that Kanye and them got yelled at for talking about the Jews in Israel and all of that. She's like, they control everything and they can do this and they can do that. But for me, I'm like, well, I just see the problem. And to me, the problem is that you have two people that are in a higher stature where some of them are falling publicly. And for me, y'all know what I like to do. I like to come and look at the lesson or message in it so we can learn from it, right? Um and I was like, well, to me, both of them are being publicly scolded, lied on, and then when it's being proven that they were right, nobody's really apologizing. And so her stance is, you know, they're bigger. So, um, I'm gonna get to that comment too. Uh, so we shouldn't do it. So always, right? If y'all keeping up, let me know if y'all keeping up. So my question to that is always, well, what you said right here, Andre, where you said a lot of people have lost faith in God, and I definitely believe that, especially being someone who has teeter-totted with that within, as an individual, right? Because we experience things, we see things that happen to people, and we're like, wait a minute, where is God in this? Or how is this? Make sure you guys are sharing the show. If you're on TikTok, tap the screen. TikTok is giving me a flash goal. I don't know. Okay, penny. And things like that. And so that's always my uh, with it. But also why I don't. I remember before when people used to want me to just cover gossip all the time, wanted me to do like celebrity gossip and do all of this. And we'll come here, we'll talk about it, but I can't really like live there. I can't live there just because it's so many things and different avenues that come along with it. And I was just so grateful that, my cousin, these are all the things we discussed prior and way before I decided to even go and say, hey, I want to be on a platform. We discussed that, you have to be able to, use discretion. You have to be able to understand that it's a world full of crazy people out here. Everybody, they do what they do, and you just have to. You're gonna have to ignore and rise above certain things, but also when you discuss and you stay on certain topics, when you're in certain genres, and it's just negative. You have to understand what else you're like pouring and inviting into you. Okay, moving on. So I always say, what is it that makes people, and I guess that is just the answer then right there, Andre, is just the loss of the faith. People really believe that, you know, there's the situation and the circumstances are bigger than God and God can't handle it. You know what I mean? I really like I be wanting to have these conversations because I do have these conversations, but it's just like, what is it that makes it seem like, all right? Because it's not fun when you're going through anything. It's not fun. It says it's so dangerous to diagnose others without the credentials to do so. It is, right? So we know that when we go through trial and error and things like that, it's difficult, you know. And then let's be real. Some of us learn the hard way. I know I'm a shoot. I don't know about you, but y'all, I know I had to learn some things the hard way. But remember when Cicely Tyson, you're like, I'm all over the place, but just telling you. Remember when Cicely Tyson was in Diary of a Mad Black Woman and Kimberly Elise's husband Charles had left her and she had just felt so defeated and depleted, right? And remember when she was laying on her bed and she was laying on Cicely Tyson's lap and she said, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. He was my everything. And Cicely Tyson was like, what? Like, God is your everything. Remember when she did that, y'all? She's like, God is your everything. But outside of that too, remember when she said, you know, God has the power to show you who's God. You've heard a preacher one of them that said that, right? And I've watched that movie a million times, seen it a million times, and then it wasn't until now with what's going on where I'm like, oh, that was not just a statement. That's really true. Do y'all know what I mean? Have y'all ever experienced that? You know, because I am truly, and like I was talking to Draco, right? Like I was talking to Draco's father. And it's like this year, right? Because I've been in this space before, right? Is y'all listening? And y'all tell me, y'all could chime in. I've been in this space before, right? And it's like so it's like cool, but I'm a completely different person in this space that I'm in right now. And this year, when I tell you that not only this year, even last year, but even more so during like these last 5 months, that statement, it came so clear to me today while I was getting ready for the show, where I'm like, I know what she meant. I I know what she meant. You get what I'm saying? Because God, like I am really in a space where all I have is a wing and a prayer, faith and a prayer, faith and prayer. And I don't have, like my lifeline when I would go into things like that. She's passed away. If something was to happen, she'd be able to help me. We would be able to do this. And she even would be able to encourage me. You know what I'm saying? You know how sometimes you need that person to encourage you to just keep on holding on. And then you lose them. And then you are now left trying to figure out how to encourage yourself. And then you don't even know what that may look like. You know what I'm saying? Yep, she lost that weight and changed. She was better fat, but at the same time, she was speaking truth. And I am really in a space where, like I said, these days coming, was like he's really had to show me that. Like he's that statement where Cicely Tyson and them said, God has the power to show you who's God, like with the fact that we really aren't in control of anything. And don't get me wrong, because I always be going back and forth. Like sometimes when I be in Bible study, I'm like, yo, well, sometimes he be taking too long. Sometimes he takes too long. Sometimes, I be needing the person to get what they need to get today, right now. And I don't have time to wait for you to show up in about 2 months or a week. Back in the day, you could turn to the church, but now at present time, the church has so many problems. The church was welcoming to everyone. Now they pick and choose who are allowed. And right, and that's true. And that's why I'm saying too, like, it's not even the church. It's really the people inside the church. Because look at me, the church. I'm about to be extra, Andre. I got to be extra because the church is a building. So it's not even the building; it's the people who operate in the building. And it's sad. It's really sad. And I definitely believe like it's what you said, like people have lost faith in God. And and I wonder if that is partially because we put our faith in everything else. Because when you think about it, some people will have more faith in their relationship than they do like how like God or anything. Especially when you have a control problem. Like I know I used to be like this really, really bad control freak. Like I had to control everything. Like if something is out of my control, I feel like all hope is lost. But I am learning that, you know, I mean, some of the things if we sit and we look at some of the things we experience in our lives, yo, some of it has just come from you being hard headed, maybe doing things your own way, right? Not really making some of the best choices, right? But when I look back over everything that I've experienced, I wouldn't change anything because it made me who I am today. However, there are some things that I would tweak. Okay? Don't get it twisted. So, because I've had this conversation too, because one of my friends asked me, and I love the conversations that we have. One of my friends asked me was like, "Hey, if you could redo your life, what if you could redo your life? Um, would would you change anything or would you do it the same?" And I did tell her, I was like, "Well, sometimes," I was like, "Well, no, because everything made me who I am today. But there are a few things that I would have tweaked. I would have left my daughter when I left my daughter father when she was one. I would have never went back. I would have stayed gone. I also probably wouldn't have been a mother so early, but being a mother made me get myself together. Not saying that I wasn't together, but it forced me and it rushed me to grow up. Um, and I definitely wouldn't have been a cop. Like, out of my entire journey, my entire story, being a police officer is, I don't regret anything, but that is definitely something that I wish I could just take and ball up and throw out the window. Cause I had a great time there, I did, and I had some bad times there. I saw corruption. I saw people be mistreated and people not speak up. Hell, I was one of them, and so, like I said to you before, that made me miss out a lot on my daughters growing up because it's such a demanding job and I was never home. So that's mainly why I would have changed it and would never do it again. That's why I always say I don't recommend nobody be no cop. That's just me. I don't recommend it. If you have little kids, or maybe you don't have or if you don't have that support system, because it takes you away from your kids. So I was telling her, and I was like, outside of that, that's the only thing I would change. Um, and then with some things, I wish I would have just listened, a little sooner. But I can remember a time where, during those situations where I don't remember praying through none of that stuff, because I had somebody I could rely on that prayed every day. Like, my cousin prayed for me every day. So I didn't have to even pray for myself because I had somebody doing that. I didn't even have to open up the Bible and read the Bible and do all that stuff for myself. I might have seen a little scripture here and there, whatever, but I didn't really have to, because I had somebody else that that was covering me. But what I will say is that now I've had to learn and get a relationship for myself. Like, through that grieving process, I still have my moments, but through the grieving process, when I tell you, I literally had to push myself. Like, my family, we don't talk, I can't talk to my family about her because they get upset. So then you walk and you don't want to trigger somebody else and upset their emotions, right? So it's like, ooh. And then one of my friends who I could talk to about it and um, be open with it, right? Just with how I feel and things I deal with in general, um, we weren't seeing eye to eye and they were dealing with their own stuff. And so when I was able to have a conversation with them here recently about, a whole big old, a whole conglomerate of stuff, I was like, whoo. But the first thing I did was I thanked God. Like, whoo, God, thank you for even allowing me and them to have a conversation and to get that off. So, but outside of that, I really had to go to God about it, and I sit and I talk to God just like, that's my friend. So, um, it's just that line in that movie, he will show you, he has the power to show you who's God. It's so real. And a lot of the times, y'all, let's keep it a being, we don't be doing our part. Like, some people rather just soak and complain, allow their problems to defeat them, and you get exhausted. You get exhausted, but then also, like, connection is important too, because even when I have like that, like, now I have I used to only have one person, right? But she passed away. But now I have three people now where I can go to them and be like, "Woo, I need you to pray for me, or I need help in this area." Um, I got a question or strengthen me, give me some oomph to keep on going. And that is something that I never had. And I'm not saying that none of my friends pray. That is not what that they don't pray. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that over the years, I'm seeing too where remember when I tell y'all that you don't lose nothing, you know, and that's what I was trying to I've been on Twitter like telling the people on Twitter like, listen, anything that is for you, any opportunity is for you. If it's for you, it's going to be for you because God said anything that He has for you is for you. And you don't have to fight for anything. And so these are things that I have always been taught, but now I am utilizing. And you have to, what they say, faith in action, as Pastor say, you got to put your faith in action. And so I'm like, there is no missed opportunities. There is no lost friendships. There is no lost relationships and things, whatever. This is just me. I don't know how you look at it, but this is me. And I'm like, e- everybody was a friend in that season that they were supposed to be a friend. However, I wish you would have lasted long enough to be where I am now because you would love me times 10 if you love me back then. But not only that, it's just the fact of that I even can now sit here and see how my relationships have changed. Like I never had I've never had a pastor in my circle. Well, one, but I never had a pastor in my circle. I never had, um, I never even thought about going to any of my friends asking them to pray for me. That's not what we was doing. We was going partying, we was fighting, we was pimping. So now here I am in a different space and I'm looking at how, sometimes, God will remove some things for him to give you better things. And I'm not saying that those friends or relationships and stuff that are no longer here with me was something that was a loss. But what I'm saying is that I'm able to see now how he's replaced them with different angles. Like I went from having only one person that could pray for me to now I have three, to now that I'm the person that, some of my friends come to or call and be like, can you pray for me? And I'd be like, okay. I don't question it. I just do it because that was never a thing. Because I feel like if you could always call me to come beat somebody up, then you should be able to call me, or you could call me when you want some money. But now the old girl ain't got no money to give you, child. Every dollar is accounted for. But you should be able to call me to do that. And I take pride and honor when somebody calls me or they ask me to pray for them because I'd be like, oh wow. I'd be like, thank you, Lord. So that's what I'm saying. And so Angela said, how does one lose faith in God when his track record is perfect? What we do is deal punitively with the church for the few believers who are operating out of his will. Hmm. Okay. What y'all think? What y'all think about that? Hmm. What y'all think about that? Who excuse me, y'all? I just burped me your ear. I apologize. Hey, Sanera girl, how you doing? If you know the story of Job, he lost everything and he questioned God, but never lost faith. Yeah, y'all, and then that is difficult. Have you guys ever been in a season where all you had to do was like you had to really like trust God? Like I want to know. Or maybe it's just me, Joe. Or maybe it's just me. Are y'all able to call in? Look at me. Look at me. Y'all know y'all be getting shot. But because for real, and let me tell you, something that I just thought was so amazing. I was inside when we was out shopping for when we were that's a word. Pastor is about to make me shout in here. Go ahead, y'all shout. Girls, make sure you shout. You tap the screen. You can shout that way, y'all. So and I was like, oh, what I was just telling Pastor. And I'm like, okay, because I always come and I always share. Um, Well, we were inside of Sam's Club, y'all. When I tell you we was inside of Sam's Club, we had prayer inside of Sam's Club. This is what I'm saying. You never know where God will send you to, right? We had prayer inside of Sam's Club with another lady that was there, and she just happened to come and she was just telling us about how she had given up one of her kidneys to a family member, and the family member passed away years later, but they were able to live for a few years after she gave them the transplant. And what stuck out to me is because sharing is caring, and I know we always say, "Oh, I don't have it," or we look at what we do have or what we don't have, and it's like you just never know what you could do with the little bit that you do have. And she was like, people didn't want her to give up her kidney, and she said, "Well, God gave us two. He gave us two for a reason, right?" And she said, "So He gave us two, so why not share one, right?" And so, me and the pastor was talking about that. Like that really like touched. That really had touched both of us. Just to be, just to see that even in the midst of a world that is like going crazy, that there is somebody that is giving. Like this lady gave up her organ, like one of her organs. And her philosophy was, well, God gave me two, I can share. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I don't know if I would give up one of my lungs or give up one of my legs or one of my kidneys or one of my something else's. Because I don't know how many livers and stuff we got, child. Don't judge me because I ain't sitting here trying to be Grey's Anatomy. You get the drift, okay? So it's just one of those things where it's just like, oh my goodness, that that's your analogy of giving a loved one a kidney is, well, God gave me two, so I could share one. And then she talked about how she was the perfect match out of everything or whoever, everybody, whatever. She was the perfect match. hmm So I just thought that was like very encouraging and inspiring. And then we met some other people in Sam's Club today, you know, and it's just crazy. Thank you. Look, I know that's right. Benita said, I heard that saying before, but not me. I help out in other ways. You get what I'm saying? And guess what, Benita? It ain't nothing wrong with that, okay? Because I don't even know if that's something that I would be able to even do. You know what I mean? Um, and that's why I'm saying I love the honesty, y'all, because it's like people like to act like we live in this image of where everything is perfect and we don't want people to know that we're going through and we need help. Let me tell you, I used to be so prideful. I used to never ask for help. Now I know that people probably wish that I was still prideful, okay? But they say closed legs don't get fed. But closed legs don't get fed, right? But I used to be so prideful and I wouldn't ask for anything. Especially I think when you go when you are um always used to being the giver, it is so difficult to receive sometimes. It's so difficult to be received. I mean, for you to receive, or you don't want people to look at you in a certain way, or whatever it may be. For me, it was never. I never cared what people thought of me. It was just I'm not gonna ask nobody for anything, and I'm gonna be so strong, and I'm gonna just. I can figure it out, and I can do it all on my own. Until what I said earlier, God has placed me, not even just now, but even prior to, have shown me, like, you gotta let that thing go. Like, you gotta let your pride go. Like, that was something that me and my cousin, worked on. It's so many different things that we worked on for years prior to this when I was in my middle and early 20s, where it's like pride. Pride will hold you up in so many different areas. Pride will hinder you and you'll be blocking your own blessings. It's almost like you could literally be talking to somebody that could help you. And because you're not opening up your mouth, You know what I'm saying? Saying, "Hey, this is what I'm experiencing," that you'll miss it. You'll miss it. It's almost like you say, "Oh, I'm waiting for God to help it, help me out." And here, God done sent Lisa or Tony, and they standing there talking to you or whatever may have come in your life for a couple for an hour or a couple days or whatever it is, and you aren't mentioning or saying anything or saying what you need, and the whole time you never know they sitting there. They could be the solution to your problem. You know. And then we do have some people where some people just are happy being complainers. Some people are just happy being complainers and just want to complain all day. So that's why it's like I get a little um sometimes I can't always have certain conversations. I have to work it out over here with me, myself and I before I do it because um I don't know why, like really what is it that really makes us feel like uh God is not big enough to cover the problem, to fix the problem. Oh, well, I can't do this. Like you gotta keep on going. I remember I was telling one of my friends, and I was like, well, he was telling me everything to do. This is what you need to do for this if you want to improve this, you want to do that, and you want to do this. And I was like, well, I don't know. Well, no, because they gonna tell me no. Well, no, because I ain't gonna be able to do this. Well, no, 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 no. And he was like, I was like, well, I don't want my credit to keep getting hit. I remember the conversation like yesterday. I don't want my credit to keep getting hit. He was like, damn, your credit, that could be fixed. You keep on going until you get a yes. Somebody will tell you yes. And needless to say, somebody told me yes. Yeah, you know what I mean? So, it's not going to always be easy. God knows it's not, you know. And I am in a space too where I actually I feel like anybody else in my situation or maybe even yours, I don't know because you guys didn't share. You understand? What would fold. I remember there were times where I wouldn't want to get out of the bed. I'm trying to sex my problems away. I'm trying to drink my problem away. I'm trying to party my problem away. Like just doing anything to escape the reality and numb what the hell is going on. And we are in a state of people now where everybody is feeling this. Everybody somewhere is really feeling the blow of this. My mom was telling y'all last week. Oh, let me go to some of the comments. Oh, we read that. A few believers are already out of that. They not losing faith. Let's see. Hey CJ, hi you. Okay, I think we all caught up on the comments. Are we all caught up on the comments? Let's see. A kindergarten concept called sharing has the potential to shift our entire culture if we all embraced it. It does. And I feel like that really what's going on. I know they say that, us as black people, we are used to struggling. We are used to making a way out of no way. So they're like, we're going to be okay during this whole little transition right now. But it's one of those things where you just right now we're all in a season to be called being called to be a blessing. And it doesn't always mean money. It doesn't always have to be money. You could, you know, be there for somebody, listen to somebody. Just hey, how you doing? Just hey, tell the old lady, hey, you need help carrying this to the car, you need whatever. And of course we live in a society where people are gonna be sketchy, but people know. You may be in the market and hey, you know what? I can't pay for your whole cart of groceries, but let me go ahead and pay for this. Put this soda on mine, or anything. Like I tell you all the time, sharing is caring. Share, you could share my show. Shoot, it's free to share. I appreciate everybody who donates, who sends a kind word, or things like that because you just never know how it goes. especially if you are in a situation where you have to solely depend on whatever your business or you 100% dependent on your job to take care of you. Like those people are probably going through it, and I only can say that because I am a part of those people. Like there is no way my life lived off of unemployment. If I was surviving off of unemployment alone, there would be no candy coated. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where um you know me and God, we be having no conversation sometimes because I'm like, listen, you done gave me a platform or a business where I gotta depend on people giving me something in order to do it. But then I had to look at that, like when I made my reel, showing just the process of the studio, me remodeling it, where I had to say, oh no, that's not even 100% true either because he, looking at all of this stuff, like he's provided all of this stuff to me. People have sent me monitors. People have given me microphones. Like when I tell y'all, if I literally went inside of my storage to show y'all all of the equipment I have, baby, y'all would be like, girl, if you don't go open the building and make a space for people to come utilize. I have a professional camera. Ask me how many times I've used it. I have tons of lights, everything, and I wasn't understanding why he was letting me do all of this stuff or making sure I learned how to do all this stuff. I know how to make logos, I know how to make flyers, I know how to edit, I know how to video edit. I know how to edit outside of a phone. But I just like to do my phone because it's easier. But I know how to sit here and do this and trim it. And I had no idea why I was learning these things, but I'm a one woman show. So I have to learn. I've developed skills that I didn't know and even ended up landing a career in a field that dealt with nothing but technology. I didn't know that when he gave this platform to me 7 years ago that I would end up at a career what was that, 6 years later, that was no 5 years later, that was going to land me to help me to be able to run all of this stuff. Now, anything else that goes with it that I just choose not to do is just, girl, that's just on you. Because I got switchboards, soundboards, and all that. But I have a moment where I'm like, I don't feel like learning today. So I'm just saying that me and my friend, we always had these conversations because I'd be like, it just seemed like it be sounding like you think God, like these human people are bigger than God. And I get it. People can make your life difficult. Like I experienced it. But I also know that I contribute to the experience. And I also know that there was a bigger picture in there. You know what I'm saying? It's all on how we look at it. And I feel like it's sad to not think to think that people can control every aspect of your life. Y'all know what I mean? And I'm like, so that's why I was saying when I'm looking at all the stuff that's going on with the celebrities and how she's threatening to get this one beat up, and they're saying this one has schizophrenic, and they're saying this one does coke, and then they're saying, and DJ Academic, he doing on a thing where now, the people from Rock Nation been sitting outside his house. And then I just think about Cat Williams when Cat Williams was on Shannon Sharp, and he even said this when he was like, y'all remember when he was like, so much stuff? Remember when he was like, so much evil is gonna come to the surface, right in y'all face, because what's done in the dark needs to come to the light so that it can be healed, cleared, and pushed out. Y'all remember that? When he said that? And nobody wanted to listen to him. But look at what is going on, especially even like in that industry with all that stuff. Like, look at what's going on. And so it's like sometimes we look at things and think people just be saying things and we don't think because we know people's spiritual paths that they're accurate or anything like that. And it's like, no, that stuff really is true. Things come out for people to know it. And I get what you're saying too, Andre, as far as church too, because now I'm not gonna lie. Oh my God. I even get disgusted. But see, but I also know that, well, what I know, what I know. But you have so many pastors and preachers going viral now for foolishness. Did y'all see the one where the pastor asked for like $1,000 or $2,000 and called the member out when their member came to the thing because the member had only gave him $1,000? Did y'all see that? You have that. You have the one person telling people shut up when they catching the Holy Ghost, and then you have that. So I get it, Andre, how people can just question, the church and stuff like that because everybody is trying to get a viral moment. It seems like everybody is trying to. Do you know how many times people have been like, "Oh, you got to do this type of stuff for clickbait. Oh, you got to do this." Now, don't get me wrong. Clickbait get the people. Drama and clickbait get the people, but I don't know how to do that. And I just feel like when you have something and you want something that has longevity, God just not gonna have you do certain stuff. She said, Alexa said, I saw it and my mouth dropped. Girl, I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe it. And I got to do better for y'all too, because I want to be able to start playing these videos and clipping these things. But y'all, listen, we hiring. This is volunteer. Everything is volunteer. But um, yeah, it was terrible. Now, if you ask me, which I watched the whole thing, and I don't even think Marvin Sapp did anything wrong. Um, but because I watched the whole entire thing and listened to the interview when he talked about it, and then also learned that that was not even his event. They asked him to do that, and he just took the backlash for it. But that's another subject. Um, and I'm just like, no, you didn't tell this person because you asked the congregation to give you $2,000. Attention is the new drug, and it's very addictive. Attention, it has been a drug. It's just highlighted now. People are recognizing it. I would have asked for the check back and kept my money. Listen, I didn't even finish watching it. I didn't even watch it. I didn't even watch it because I didn't even know it. So since you saw it, right? Did they take the check back and write a new one? That's what I want to know. Did they take the check back and write a new one? Because I didn't watch the whole thing. I was like, I'm not watching this. I am not watching this. No. Okay, so they didn't take the okay. See, and I'd have took my money and went to a whole different congregation. So that's what I'm saying. Everybody is just doing things. She said she was going to work on the other 800. So she said that on the video. Did she say that on the video or did she like do a different um thing? And that's one of the problems too. Um I believe that goes back to what you were saying, Andre. Andre, the problem is people have taken and used religion and used the church to become which has gone on for years, but to manipulate people, to control people, you know, and it's just sad. And that's what it is. And so people just blame the church. But the point, but the not even the point, but the thing is, this is why you have to go around and you have to do it and learn it for yourself, for real, for real. Because I know that like God led me to church because I mean I was in church. Me and my cousin we had church all the time. Um, I even attended her church a few times, but once she left, it was like I know God knew that I needed. He didn't want me to give up. He didn't want me to stop. He knew I needed something. And I remember going to visit the church. I remember going to St. Luke to go visit, and the pastor, she was preaching or something, and I was like, okay. And it was a good service. Like, it was a nice service. Um and I kept on. Then they had something else at that church. Look at me, that church. At that time they had something else there. And I had went back for that. It was like some type of food type of thing. Because God knows food gets me every time, you know. And that was so they were having something there. And then I went to Puerto Rico, I think, after that. And then I had no plans on coming back to church. I had no plans on going back there. None. I'm grieving. I'm my cousin. I'm trying to figure things out. And this is not soda, you guys. It's sparkling flavored water. And next thing I know, I think the pastor had started talking to me about wanting to stream the service online. She's like, "Yeah, I want to go live online, and I want people to see it, and blah 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 blah." And what happened? Like, God knows that I know what to do with that, and that's something I'm interested in. And so they she asked me to stream the church service. And so there was that. So my spirit was getting fed. I'm listening, but I'm also there working. And now I have to go, because now they relying on me. Because even with some of the people, and they be like, "Oh, thank you for streaming the service because I've been bedridden or I haven't been able to come to church. I can't leave out of the house. And because you stream it, I get to see it." So I was like, "Oh, okay, you're welcome." Don't get me wrong, I have my days with that as well. But I'm just saying he always points you in that right direction. So here we are. Make sure you guys give me a heart thumbs up and share the show. This is why I say sharing is caring. Those were her exact words, and his response was, "Well, that ain't what I asked you to do." That is terrible. That is terrible. So you actually watched the whole thing. I'm sorry, my little lash getting on my nerves. My lash getting on my nerves. So you watched that whole thing. That is terrible. That man ought to be beat up. That is terrible. And so that's what I'm saying. It's stuff like that. So I would just say, go and get it and learn for yourself. So I say all that to just say, like, you just never know what you may be going through and how you may be going through it. And, have a cheerful heart while you go through it. And I know you're like, well, what the hell is you mean have a cheerful heart while you're going through it? Let me tell you a true story. I was telling Piss, I said, I've had a really great couple days. I've done like different reviews. I've had some I've done different reviews. I've had a great time. And just still living. Because like I said, when you're going through sometimes you don't want to do anything. You'll just sit and stay stuck in what you're going through. So here we are, y'all. Like I told you, I can't live off of unemployment. Transparency moment. I remember I was telling y'all last week. Sometimes the invoices is up, sometimes the invoices is down. Right? Sometimes doing it, like I said, September was such a great month. But like I said, sometimes the invoice is up, sometimes the invoice is down. Just with everything that I do, whether it's through donations, whether it's thank you for liking the live, whether it's through donations, whether it's through somebody to book me to come and service them, or I'll do like one-on-one classes, whatever it may be. And so I go through all of that. And I have not I just don't be able to get down about it. When I was saying every time that I am in like, all right, well, what do you want me to do? He just keeps telling me create. Just keep creating. I need you to continue to do your show. I need you to do this. Oh, hey, call this person. This person needs an encouraging word, or just do this, or just do nothing today, or just do X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay. because I told you I'm on this 50 days to greatness. Well, he said, yes. So you remember when I told y'all that, right? And so when I say he will show you, you know, that he is God and he is in control, because I am in a situation where I don't know where my next dollar be coming from. But guess what? The lights still be on. Matter of fact, my BGE bill is down to zero. Like straight up. It's down to zero. And then until I think whatever their new cycle is for the month, whatever, right? And I'm like, I don't know how, like, how did that happen? Um, so here it is. Y'all know unemployment is only like $430 a week. That's all unemployment is. Unemployment usually come on Tuesdays. Y'all probably like, oh, she telling all this. Unemployment usually come on show up on Tuesday. When I tell y'all that when this Tuesday came and I opened my eyes and I only had $59.18 in my account, okay? Did you hear me? And and I just remember a time, and I was telling the pastor about it. So I kind of blame her for this, but not only that, because God was talking that, and she was like, "You should maybe that's what your show should be about. You should share that." But so much other stuff came that we talked about previously. When I tell y'all, I was like, I was on the phone with my homegirl. She was like, "What?" I was laughing. I was like, "Girl, this got to be a joke." She was like, "What?" I was like, "Girl, I just got paid today and I only got $59.18." Real shit. She was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." I'm like, please, because I don't need no pity party. I don't want no pity party for that, okay? Like, I don't want no pity party. I was like, girl, no, that ain't the point. I was like, Ashton Kutcher is going to show up. But I was like, well, let me see what happened. Because then I'm like, I'm curious, right? So I was like, oh, my car insurance got paid, some other little things, you know how them other little stuff coming. I was like, oh, okay. All right. But even still, in the midst of that, prior to this happening, and this is what I was telling her, this is what I was like, God will show you He's in control, because prior to that, um, anything and everything I do at church is voluntarily. You know what I mean? It's a small congregation and growing, so they can't pay everybody. They damn sure ain't thinking about paying the media person. Not like that, but you get what I'm saying? But I don't have a problem with that. So here it is, and I do it, and I knew that this was gonna I didn't know that this was gonna happen, but God did, because one of the members at the church, prior to this, ended up paying me and was like, "You do such a great job. Um, this is the love offering." Because she was like, pay me. I was like, "No, you don't gotta pay me. No, you don't gotta pay me to do this. Like, I really like to do it." And then I also read in the Bible where, it was he was where in the Bible. Y'all know I ain't the best quoter, where it was saying that when you do things in the church, or something, that it's you shouldn't be charging anyway. So I was like, "Oh, okay." So it's fine. That's basically, I'm like, "Oh, okay." She was like, "Well, no, this is just going to be a love offering then. It's going to be a love offering, um since you won't take it, if since you won't take it, um from me, it's saying that it's payment." But needless to say, when she gave me what she had given me prior to this, I was telling my pastor, I was like, girl, God is funny, because He knew that came Tuesday, I was only going to have $59.18 to my name. On top of not me even knowing that, this is why I say pride. You got to swallow that pride. I accepted the payment from her and was like, thank you. That went toward another need. You get what I'm saying? So I was telling her, and I just was like, I remember a time where I would have probably been like crying my eyes out. I would have been panicking. I would have been like not knowing what I am going to do. And but when I was telling her, I said, I just be so confused, because I have so much joy in my heart. Like, I swear, this is how I'm like, I know it's nothing but God, because He's shown me over and over that He is going to take care of me. So when I even doing that, I'm like, well, what you want me to do today, God? Because you know what my bank account look like. This man gonna tell me go do content. Yes, he did. He told me go do content. And I be getting so irritated. You know how it is when you going through something right and you tell somebody, somebody's telling you what they dealing with, and they say, "Oh, go just pray about it." Or you go through a divorce, or just pray. Won't you pray? You be like, I want to hear that shit up. So it would be one of those things where he was like, "Oh, well, I need you to go. You got to go do content." I'm like, but I don't question. I stopped questioning. I'm like, content? What type of content you want me to do with $59 in my account? And you know I need gas, and you know I gotta buy this dog food. This $59 gotta last me till Tuesday. Right? Mind you, it was only Tuesday. So it was just super, 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 it was just super funny. And he was like, "Oh, well, I need you to go do content." So then I started finding cheap eats. Y'all remember I just did a reel on cheap eats. And then it's just so funny because like when I go places, unless they've like someone they paid me to come to them to do their reviews and stuff like that, I like to go around and I find different things and I like to review it just because it's fun. And I like to do it and because it helped grow my platform on Instagram. And let me see. And I found some little sheets. Needless to say that when we went to, and we always go together and there's always like three places. But when we went to the places, right, we had got our food for free. Had no, y'all hear that? Had no idea. Nobody knew I was coming. No, 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 nothing to get something. Just said what we came there to do, what I came there to get, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing that. Yo, and we got our food for free. So I was like, "Oh, this is so funny." You know what I mean? Like, "Oh, okay." Because like, if you know, like, if you ever hung out with me, like my one friend, she be laughing. Um, I'd be like, girl, we gonna get some stuff for free. I don't know how, don't know when, don't know why, but God is gonna bless us today when we go outside." So here it is today. We were doing different things, preparing for Saturday, which would be dope if you guys could come on Saturday. It starts at 12 o'clock. Um, it was so dope that I ended up getting free food again today. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, yo, like he really is showing off. He really will show you that he has your back if you let him. Like there was a once upon a time where I wouldn't want to do anything. So that's why it's like if you're not looking for a solution, if you're not looking for inspiration, if you're not looking for motivation or any type of encouragement, and you just want to keep talking about the hiccups in your situation or what ain't going to be able to be possible, like I don't want to hear it. Don't call me with it because I don't live in that space. But I'm compassionate and I understand that we are, but that everybody has a different faith walk. Everybody's strong in different areas because I too used to be that. But when I tell you that like he has been showing off and all I've been doing is being obedient, go to him before every decision. I pray every day, every morning when I wake up, go to him for every decision, wait for a response, don't question what I'm doing. And even with me having my income quadrupled cut in half, I've also still been able to tithe at church. Like I tithing, giving up 10%, trusting that he is going to provide the 10% that I'm giving away. And I was just telling him past that, and I was like, I'm just so glad that even though I began to do this 50 because I started the 50 days to greatness. I said, I don't know what's going to happen. I told her that today in the car. I said, I don't know what's going to happen after the end of day 50. I didn't do this with the motive of like, oh God, you're going to do something. I strictly did this to just challenge myself and to be better and see where I will be and how I'll be. And I said, I don't know what's going to happen at when day 50 come, but I do believe something great and life changing for the good will happen. I don't know what. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know when it's going to come, but I'm just holding and standing firm to that. And the goal is not to when day 50 come be like, oh my God, no, to continue going. Because I don't know. Because even though, look, even though it's my 50-day challenge to greatness, that don't mean it's his. You understand? So I am still doing it. I'm still gonna move forward with it. But it's like his may be on day 52. You know what I'm saying? Like we just never know the plan. And I was like, I was telling her and I said, and I don't have a motive for why I'm doing it. Like I'm not tiding because, oh, I know he's gonna do this or that. I don't I stopped praying a long time ago for an exchange of something. Like I'm gonna do this or do this, this. I stopped I stopped only communicating when there was a problem or asking him for something when I wanted something in my favor. Because the crazy thing is like I had to and I learned that real early because I had to go to him still right after he had just broke my heart by taking my cousin. So I had to talk to him even when and rely on him even when I didn't want to. And I told him that too, y'all. I was like, I don't even want to. It was like I was like, I don't even want to talk to you right now. I remember that day like yesterday. I was like, I don't even want to talk to you. I don't have anything to say. I don't even talk to you. And even still in that, I could still feel his understanding of she's just upset. And I know you upset. You know how it's kind of like you be like, I know you mad, so I ain't gonna punch you in your mouth to like your kids or your husband or your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. So it was just one of those things. And all I did was sit at the bottom of my bed that day. I remember like yesterday, all I did, I had my hair braided in those two braids. Y'all remember those two connected braids with the curly hair in the back? And I remember I just sat at the end of my bed. I just sat at the end of my bed that same day and cried. Sat there and just cried, yelled and screamed and cried for like hours and just was like, I'm not talking to you. I don't want to talk to you. I can't believe you just did this. What am I gonna do now? Whoop de woo. I don't want to talk to you right now. And I could just still feel his presence. I swear it was like I was laying on at the end of my bed crying. And it was like I could feel like an angel or something just sitting right there with me, rubbing my back. Like just sitting there letting me cry. Like I know you upset and I know it hurt. So is how they always say you got to try to find a good in every situation and things like that. And so the good that I've been discovering constantly along with other things, since to deal with her passing is losing her has pushed me closer to him and having me to develop a relationship on my own to figure out what's going on because I don't know what's going on. And so that's why I'm like, I don't know who y'all are, what's going on, but you can't give up. You gotta keep on going. You gotta change how you look at things. And then sometimes, you gotta really be real with yourself and be like, yo, am I really giving it my all? Am I really giving into my situation and allowing my situation to control and dictate how I feel? You know? So that's why when me and my friend have these conversations, I'm gonna take this lash off. That's why when me and my friend is having these conversations at times, because everybody don't always know everything, right? I get a little like flustered because I'm like, girl, we not gonna sit here and you gonna sit here and tell me that the government and the media, Israel, Jews, whoever, whatever they say got going on, you're not gonna sit here and tell me that they're the powers at be and that they bigger than God to me. Cause I am and that's why I say God, they always say you can't just be talked about, he has to be experienced. Because I'm like, I am in a whole situation where all I got is my faith and a prayer. Okay? All I got is my faith and a prayer. And I gotta rely on that. And I have to believe in that. So when you're sitting here and you're telling me and we're talking about what's going on around the world and how they might try to, unalive Nicki Minaj or do this and this and that, or they did this. I can hear it because it's great for our conversations just with me and my friends, but I don't believe that. If it's your time to go, it's your time to go. And it ain't got nothing to do with no damn Nicki Minaj. So it's just that there are so many things that we can learn right now with the stuff that is in plain sight. And I was like, I gotta come here and share all that stuff. What's going on? You say, yep, and I got denied. What did you get denied on? Is that Amen. See, Andre, one thing you know, you gonna be here with me, child, when we start talking about how good this man has been, okay? How good God is. Hopefully you could come Saturday. He definitely showed me last year. No, for real. So I'm just like, dag, with all the stuff that has occurred, the different things that went on, from like I said, from being in the Sam's Club, and the lady said, yeah, I got two kidneys, but I gave one to my cousin. God gave me two for a reason. And I think it said it in the comments that was like, we're all called to sacrifice in different ways. Let me see. Where is that at? Right here. We're all called to a different level of sacrifice. And that is just so true. You know what I mean? That is just so true. So that's why I just want to encourage you guys to just keep on going. Oh, unemployment. Why they deny you? So you gotta keep going, right? Let me tell you, you gotta call them because look, they denied my daughters too, and I was like, the devil is a lie. I kept praying over that thing, and she ended up getting it. Are you still trying to get unemployment now, or you talking about this was last year? But because you got to keep calling them. You got to call them because they have so many certain amount of days. And then somehow I learned that you could go ahead and you can file, and it might be like a penalty or something, or a hiccup in the system. Because I know they were saying her things because she had like quit or she did something, child. I don't know what she did. She had did something, child. And they want to try and give it to her. Needless to say, I was like, the devil is a liar. I prayed over that thing, and she got her unemployment. I don't care if they told you no or not, okay, and Andre? You just keep on going, okay? You keep on trying it. Because that's the thing, because at the end of the day, that's what the enemy does. He wants us to doubt. He wants us to doubt. He wants us to doubt. He wanted me to be like, "Oh, you doing this 50 days to faithfulness, and um you trying to continue to be great, and you out here serving this man, and doing you out here serving this man, and keep trying to trust in him, and here it is, he know your bills is due and you only got $59, and he know what you trying to do." Sure, I went outside and had a ball. Okay, for the free. So it's things like that, that I'm like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? So that's why I said, you just gotta keep on going, and you never know when you're being tested. Because if he gotta stretch your faith, right? He gotta stretch you. You gotta experience some things. You gotta grow through something. You gotta go through some things so you can grow through them. Would you say I had a conference and appeals? You had a conference and appeals. How long ago was this? because we are going to pray, in Jesus' name, you are going to get approved. You are going to have a different outcome. What I just say on this live earlier, we're going to keep on going. We're going to figure out what it is. And then I learned too that when you do an appeal, it holds up your case as well. So I would say continue to file. One, two, three. Continue to file. Try again. Try again. Cause you never know who you can get. Because you know what I've learned too with this stuff is that these people they put that stuff into a system and they do it. Because and it's jacked up because we get the jacked up in May. Try again. Try again. I'm telling you, try again. What was their reason? Try again. They had denied my daughter back in April. They denied her back in April. She didn't get it till July. Cause I reapplied for it, didn't I? Cause y'all know these kids ain't gonna do it. You got to take the medicine in your hands. Try again and see what's going. It's like what did I get denied for? Like I really don't have an income. So you tell me what I need to do. That's what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do. Sometimes it takes you just getting somebody that's willing to do their job, willing to go a little bit further. So you guys, you gotta stay encouraged. You gotta stay encouraged. You gotta stay prayed up. They say, yes, we do. Yeah, you gotta stay encouraged. You gotta stay prayed up and all of that. Cause the other thing is, I had did some work. I had did some work for somebody, and I had completely forgot all about it. Cause I be doing, cause even though right now I do have to like charge for stuff, but I end up doing it. I had completely forgot that I had did this service for this lady. I had completely forgot that I did this service for this lady until some money had came through on my phone, and I was like, and she had sent the message and was like, I had forgot that it is. I'm like, girl, I forgot. But I was like, oh, thank you. So it was like it shows when it needs to show. But you gotta keep on going. Cause it's like I still got plans. I still got stuff I got to do. I can't be sitting here down bad and whining and complaining about it. No. We're just gonna do better. We're just gonna keep on doing it. Mm. So they jobs. Oh, okay. So you resigned, and they gave you. So they put. So basically, they did it like you did a voluntarily quit. Mm. So if there was no option, if they gave you no option, yeah, why didn't you just let them fire you? I think you gotta keep trying, and you'll be able to get it because the same thing happened with my daughter. She had gotten fired, and then one of them she had did a voluntarily quit. And what happened is the one when she did that voluntarily quit, the lady was on the phone with me and she was telling me like, well, that's one of the issues. That was one of the issues in the case. Because it takes like the 21 days or something like that. But once those hiccups or something are taken care of, um, you can go ahead and redo it again. Because they said that you shouldn't still be penalized for that. You know what I mean? So I say try it again. I say try again. Keep do it again. Okay, you explain to me. Yeah, cause listen, there where there's a way, where there's a will, there's a way. I'm telling you, they kept denying my daughter, and I was like, okay, oh, I'm gonna get you approved. We're gonna pray over that thing, and she ended up getting it. So you just gotta keep on. So you just know what I'm saying. You just gotta keep on going. Don't give up. Whatever it is you're gonna do, don't whatever anybody gonna do, don't give up. Don't give up, child. Don't give up. Don't quit. What else has been going on? I've started leaving you know who. I can't say their name because they're right under my feet and they might start acting up because they trying to be nice because they came in here because they want something. I'm about to get off. But I started being able to leave them out. I started practicing on leaving them out around the house without anybody being anywhere. I go out and run my errands because I'm like, I can't keep keeping you cooped up in a cage all day. Excuse me, you guys. And for the last couple of times, the last couple of days that I've done it, he's been pretty good. He's held his poop. Now he has sprinkle, but he just started recently sprinkling because I did leave him like today. I left him all day, but he did really, really good, y'all. He's been doing really good. I've been really praying that I'm able to leave him out and not have to keep him caged up. So he's been doing pretty good. So shout outs to God for that. But yeah, y'all, you know, you got to keep going. Share the show for me. If you also see anything on any of my reels and stuff, sorry, on Facebook, reshare my posts, please. Reshare them, okay? It's free to share. Share Instagram, do all that, engage heart. Even if you put a heart on it, even if you engage in the stories, like all of that stuff matters. Follow me on TikTok. And who knows, maybe you guys are going to start wanting to call in. I'm going to keep putting the link down there every time. Um, and I'm trying to align some things up so I can get. So I have some guests that I want to come on, but I'm waiting for them to get back to me with like their schedules and stuff like that, so we can get into some different little stuff for real. But did you guys enjoy the night tonight show? I truly did. I truly did because I feel like somebody needed it. Anybody needs you coming here snoring though. He is so irky. Look at that. See that? Then got him riled up. Yes, yes. I'm so glad. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys. I'll probably go live again later on TikTok from my bed though, cause I got some stuff I be wanting to say. Um, but yeah, I'm excited. Got some more reels and content coming to y'all. I But I was telling them too. I'm like, Lord, I can't wait till I get me a little crew. I mean, like, here, this is you. This you do this part. You do that part. I was like, hell, I'm out here doing stuff for people, making reels and content for people. And I was telling my best friend, I was like, girl, I'm ready to get somebody to make mine. So it's like, oof. But what they say, heavy is the head that wears the crown. But keep on going. You make sure you go and you refile for your unemployment again. Just keep filing and ask to speak to a person. You know, once you explain it to me, then we might can come up with what you need to say. Cause now, this is unacceptable. Half of the world is getting unemployment right now. It's crazy. And then I think in another state, their governor had gave everybody like a $200 check, a $200 stimulus check. I seen this girl talking about it. It was like, well, thank you for this $200. One of the governors or something had gave out like a little stimulus check to the people. People would just be so funny. But yeah, y'all, so continue to stay encouraged. If you're not doing anything Saturday at noon, it's not an all day thing. Come get you, come volunteer or come have dinner, lunch or whatever. It's all free. Like I said, I put the refrigerators that will be filling up all over the city for the Be More Fridge. If you know a family or if you yourself need some food, we're putting the food and stuff in the refrigerators. Make sure you share it. I'm gonna repost it again, but make sure you guys share it. And if you want to just see more and know what else we're up to, or like you want to volunteer to help, come out and do distribution with us. I'm trying to see if I can highlight this comment. Oh, it ain't gonna let me highlight it. But yep, that's the link where you can go right there. You can copy and paste it where you can go right over to St. Luke and keep up and see what we're doing. Because over there, 700 people. We're gonna feed 700 people, and after today, I think she was saying that she think we might be able to feed 800 people. So, we over there in the San Antonio area, there is a wind scarcity and insecurity, so we always feeding people in the community. So it doesn't matter where you are, where you're from, if you're not from there or not. Like, come up, you can come help or just be a part. You know what I mean? It's really beautiful to see, and I get so much joy. And I will say, like I say, even though things was a little rocky this week, I ain't really care. I still did everything I needed to do. But oh, and if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that thumbs up button for me on YouTube. Um, it still just be fun and be faithful, and you just never know. Just by you being obedient or by you doing something, being the hands and feet of Jesus, then you never know he'll do it, be do things for you. I know he's been over here making miracles work, baby. I'm telling you. So it was nice talking to you guys. Make sure you share the show. If you want to send stars, if you want to donate, if you want to give gifts on TikTok, if you want to give gifts on the reels on Instagram, you could do all of that. And then if when in doubt, just share. Just share. Just hit the little sherry button. And I'll see you guys next week. I promise y'all I'm gonna start going live more. I just don't know what days to do it. I just don't know what days to do it. Y'all gotta tell me the days. I was thinking about maybe start doing it while people at work. Give you some motivation to get through the week. I'll see you guys next week. It was fun. See you later.